Morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. You're Anthony?
I am Anthony.
All right. I am Gustav or start video. There we go. All right. There we go.
So there you are. There we go. Awesome.
So where are you based?
I am in Nebraska.
All right. And how long have you lived in Nebraska?
About 10 years.
Okay.
I'm originally from Southern California.
Okay. Wow. That's a big change.
Big temperature shift.
Yeah. What brought you to Nebraska?
My wife,
Mm-hmm.
her family. Yeah. My family is spread all up and down the coast and the Southwest. And when we finally had kids, we wanted something a little bit more stable. So
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. It was nice.
Cool.
How about you? Where are you?
I'm in San Jose, California.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. Basically, been living in the Bay Area my whole life, so haven't had a reason to leave just yet. So we'll see.
Oh gosh, how warm is it there right now?
Actually, the temperature is not warm at all. It's right now it's 38 degrees outside.
What?
Yeah, but it's been super smoky from the fires. So
Yeah,
the
dude, that's a bummer.
last week has just been terrible air quality. But yeah, it's getting pretty chilly right now.
Dude, I'm sorry. That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks for people in the fire, definitely, but I mean, it just air quality wise, yeah, just not good.
Yeah.
So how many kids you have?
Two boys.
Okay.
They're
Nice.
6 and 10.
Nice.
Keeping me busy.
Nice.
Hey guys, I'm just finishing preparing some breakfast for the kids, so I'm listening, but I won't be visible.
All right.
on.
Just for a little bit.
What's for breakfast?
We got some eggs and bagels.
Ah, very nice. I just finished mine, so we're good.
Cool.
Hey guys.
Welcome.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning. Call number 1. How about that? Finally, what after a month or so?
Yeah. So how many of us were in the business boot camp?
I was in the first one.
Okay. And I was in this last one. David, you were in this last one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I know the other David was. And then Gustav, were you in the business boot camp?
No, I have not been in the business boot camp.
Okay. And then Peter, I know, was also in this last one. So I guess most of us. Cool. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out in our group, what we've learned.
Yeah.
Sure.
What was your guys' overall impression of the business boot camp?
It was great. It was what I sort of expected, where you can assume that all of the information that we received has been sprinkled throughout the history of the pro group and is probably going to be sprinkled throughout the future of the pro group.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like condensing it into like a curriculum in a short period of time, and then having opportunities to like really discuss the material actively and try to like make homework and all these different things.
Mm-hmm.
So it was basically just taking all that information and
Cool.
putting it together.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty helpful. I mean, you could probably get almost everything we learned in the business boot camp from the pro calls if you went through all of them. But the business boot camp kind of like condensed it all and put it in like this really structured way that made it easy to digest and then also apply. They give us like worksheets and homework assignments and things like that. So I thought it was pretty helpful.
Cool. Very good.
Yeah, because that is the struggle with all the content that we have access to, is if you just have like loose information all over the place, it's great, but until it's structured, like
Yeah.
logically, then you get overwhelmed and you're kind of getting a little bit over here and a little bit over there and just trying to like stick it together as best you can. And so it was nice to have that structure.
Excellent.
So what does everyone do?
Yeah, well, since it's our first call, I guess why don't we do just a big, quick roundtable, and we can just do introductions and kind of brief overview, maybe. How's that sound?
Perfect.
All right. Who's first?
Start with Gustav.
Okay. All right. My name is Gustav, and I've been calling myself a recovering creative director because I been in the marketing and advertising agency space for about 20 years, up until recently. And, I grew up in the agency. I started as a design intern and worked my way up, to designer, senior designer, art director, senior art director, associate creative director, and then creative director. And then I've been a creative director the last couple of years. But 3 years ago, the agency that I was last working for just out of the blue ran out of money and basically laid off all their senior people, including me. And so for the first time ever, I was like, didn't have a job at all. And timing wise, it worked out to jump on board the church that I was attending as their creative director, because I'd done a lot of stuff for free on a volunteer basis for them, and it just timing wise worked out, and they needed somebody. So for the last 3 years, I've been doing all of their web, video, motion graphics, photo, everything. But this last April, I resigned my position there, and I've basically been on a sabbatical since. The church gig was great. I was pretty much autonomous and could basically do whatever I wanted creatively. But when I had originally, signed up with them, I try to make it clear that like I'm not the graphics guy. I'm not the photo guy. Like I'm a creative director, so we're going to need to develop a team, especially to support all of the content that they wanted to do. And resource wise, churches aren't that they don't have as many resources as some of the businesses that I've worked with. So it wasn't working out from the kind of work that I was wanting to do. So. I mean, they're great people, and they're still my friends, and I've known them for a long time. So it was better just to kind of move on. And so with the support of my wife, I was able just to basically resign my position, and I've been on basically a sabbatical ever since. It's kind of something that I've been wanting to do for a long time too, is just kind of take a break and kind of reboot and recharge and kind of focused on some different things. Primarily, I wanted to get really serious about my 3D work. So I've been basically this whole summer, I've been just neck deep in tutorials and just finally getting serious about Cinema 4D. Because really where my heart is just doing style frames and storyboards for motion graphics and some animation for motion graphics. So the plan is next year to basically just emerge as a freelance artist. And I don't really have the desire to go back to an agency, but we'll see what happens. So that's where I am, and I'm in San Jose, California. So that's my story.
Cool.
How long have you been on sabbatical for?
Since April. So several months now, and I've done a few little small jobs for some friends here and there that have come to me, but I haven't really been focused on bringing in any work yet. So I'm in the process of totally rebooting my portfolio, so I want to concentrate on that first, and then get that really heavily ramped up in 2019.
Hey, David, are you pretty close to those fires? I just see a lot of steam and smoke.
Oh, no, that's a coffee espresso machine. Sorry about that. Almost done here.
All right, who wants to go next?
I can go next. So my name is Hassan. I live in Houston, Texas, and basically I've been busy with just one client right now, and I do primarily UI UX design. But my wife is kind of joining the team, and we're kind of launching our own business, and planning on kind of starting our own creative firm, and we're going to offer branding in addition to the UI and the UX design and web development, that sort of thing. And we started, I guess, back in July officially, but we've been so busy with this one project that we haven't even had time to like put our own brand together so that we can launch our own website. The website I have right now is like my portfolio site that's really outdated from when I was like looking for work back in, I guess, March, after I finished a coding boot camp. So not as long as a history as Gustav, but yeah, excited to start.
Cool. What kind of work are you focusing on?
I mainly focus on the UI UX part of it, as well as the web development. My wife does the branding, the copywriting, the brand messaging, and the identity designs and that sort of thing.
Nice.
And I guess our main target customer is like small to medium-sized businesses, as well as some of the startups that are emerging here in Houston. There's surprisingly a lot of, I know Austin, as far as Texas goes, Austin tends to be like the tech central, but there's a lot of old money in Houston from oil and gas, which makes for a really good, startup environment because there's a lot of funding and investment opportunities.
Cool.
Yeah.
David? That David. That's right.
Sorry.
That guy.
Oh, the other David.
Oh,
You guys go keep going.
Any David.
The other David first, because I'm still prepping breakfast.
I'll cover for you. Yeah, my name's David. It's also Oklahoma, kind of Midwest. My history is basically for past 6 years I've been sort of designer / developer, kind of really went deep into UX and web development, kind of front end development basically. Currently, for past year and a half, I've been doing my own business after I got laid off from an advertisement agency after they lost like a huge client. So it kind of opened an opportunity for me to just like do whatever I wanted. And I started business with my partner, and then we kind of split off. And right now for past 5 months, I think, or 6 already, time flies by. I've been doing this basically on my own. Currently, I'm just working with advertisement agencies, kind of being an outsourced work for them, or force for them. Basically, I'm working with with the agency that laid me off, which is funny, but they're one of my biggest clients. So yeah, that's my story.
And David, is that what you are looking to continue doing to be
No,
like?
I want to get away from that. Obviously, yeah. My goal is to, I think I've been debating for this for the past couple of months, basically, and I really want to go away from ad work, I guess. I don't really enjoy it that much. Go maybe into really specified niche clientele. I'm not really sure which one yet. Or go strictly product development. So kind of still deciding.
Awesome. I guess maybe I'll go next. I am Anthony. I'm an illustrator and graphic designer in Nebraska, so another Midwest represent. Gosh, I've been in the industry for about 20 years, in-house, agency, freelance, just kind of like testing all the waters. Currently, I'm what you would call a moonlighter. So I've got a very great full-time design gig for a company, but I also run my own business between the hours of 6 and 1 in the morning. And I've only recently found my niche this year, which was a big accomplishment for me. A lot of my work has been historically illustration forward because that is one of my strengths. And now it is really doubling down on that, doing work that is illustration forward, but specifically working with clients that are technical clients, or they have some expertise or knowledge that they're having a hard time distilling for an audience that doesn't share that same level of expertise. And I've had a lot of luck with like let's say facilitators that do something like core, some of the kind of discovery, but they need to find some way to translate all that information into something that they can deliver to the client. It comes across in like explainer type videos and things like that, because motion graphics, or animation is also something that I do, but I do try to lean more towards the tactile aspect, because a lot of my work is very like it's hand-drawn, or it's trying to achieve a hand-drawn look. So if it's animation, it translates into stop motion and things like that. And working with, let's say if you're in the sciences or you're in the finance industry and you have this wealth of information that the average person who doesn't have their PhD in that has to be able to grasp in some way. So that's translating that into like images or like small animations or something to help supplement their messaging so that they can spread it and make it more shareable. And yeah, that's basically me in a nutshell.
Cool.
Hey, Peter, you want to jump in?
right.
We're doing the intros.
Yeah, I was late. I wasn't sure if I was the last one. So my name is Peter Altano. I'm out here in Southern California. I am a UI UX designer, and have been, I guess I still am. I kind of shared with you guys a little bit in the group yesterday. I'm kind of between two jobs right now. We have a surprise third child on the way in May. And so I'm staying at my current job. I lead the design team at GoFundMe, working on their CrowdRise product. And we'll be kind of transitioning through over to Unfold, which is a branding, web design, and product design agency. So I'm working part-time with them, 8 to 16 hours a week, handling all of their leads, and then moving into really just a business development role. Their leads are insane. So I'm very, very excited and very happy that I just took the business boot camp. The main founder is the #1 most followed designer on Dribbble. And so I can't keep up with our leads, which is a great problem to have. Just kind of figuring out what that looks like, stepping out of the design role somewhat. It will give me an opportunity to do more content creation, because that's what we're picturing as being part of the marketing efforts. And so I'm excited to do all the things that I have wanted to for the last year and a half, but have not had the time to do. And so, yeah, that's kind of me in a nutshell right now. Just kind of wrapping my head around all that, getting ready for the transition, and trying to get through the next 7 months with that light at the end of the tunnel, and continue to grow in this way, and excited to be here with you guys.
Awesome. Congrats,
Cool.
Peter.
Congrats on the
Congrats, man.
opportunity.
Thanks. I'm super excited. It's been like a 2.5 year discussion with these guys, and the timing's just never been right, and it's finally right. So very, very pumped.
That's very cool. This is my first time doing it on the iPad here in the kitchen, so hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Is that all right? Yeah.
You look great.
I'm sorry, everything kind of got started late. I have 3 kids, twins that are 1.5 years, and then my toddler who's just over 3. So life is a little bit a little bit hectic here. A little bit about me. I basically, you want to say hi?
Hi.
You want to say hi? Basically, I've been doing motion for the last 23-ish years. Started actually one of my first one of my first gigs was those are fun times. And then I pretty much freelanced for the majority of those 20 years, almost, well, not, maybe not 20 years, maybe like 15 years. And that freelance kind of evolved into taking on bigger projects where I would hire other freelancers. And that could be anywhere between like just one other freelancer to like the largest one was 13 other freelancers, and all of us working remotely. So the last 2 years I've kind of been off. I've taken some time off to be with the kids and help my wife, not just help her, but we both consciously made a decision to be with them in I guess their more formative years, and something that we'll probably never get back, and they'll be in school before we know. That's what all of our friends have been telling us. So we just want to take advantage of that. And then, so now end of July, I guess is when I slowly start to ramp back up into starting up the business again. And this time, instead of, because most of my clients have been ad agencies, I'm trying to get away from that and trying to go direct to client. I've had a few of those clients before, so I'm trying to do that as the bulk of my business. And then to add another twist to kind of business aspirations is I'm trying to slowly get out of the motion side of things and get into brand strategy and helping companies define who they are and how they present themselves and how they find clients in their space. So that I'm in the middle of sort of starting as a separate company, because I think I've been trying to transition it from the motion side to the branding side, and I'm finding that's a difficult stretch. So I think just to start fresh with a new company is seems to be an easier way to go at it, but that also has its challenges too. So it's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah, I don't know.
Awesome. Yeah, I love you share a lot with your kids on Instagram. That's rad. Just getting, you know, I was sharing with Gustav. I've got 2 boys myself, and yeah, they're young, and definitely being deliberate about spending that time with them early on, because now they are in school, and but they still like having me around, and pretty soon that's not going to be the case as they hit their tweens. So just definitely trying to enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, it's difficult trying to, especially like I think it would be different if it was a 9 to 5. I don't know. Peter probably is the closest to 9 to 5 among all of us right now. But and
yeah,
he's not exactly
4 to 2, same thing.
Yeah. So I always imagine like the 9 to 5 gig might be a little bit easier, because I also work from home. My office is above the garage, which is a little bit separated from the house, but I can still get a sense of what's happening in the house. It's always half my mind and my heart is you know, watching and listening. It's hard to really get into the work sometimes.
Cool. Well, I think that's everybody except for there's one more. Is it Gary?
Gary Morris, yeah. I don't know if he knew about this meeting, or he must have known. Maybe
he did. Yeah, he liked when I posted the invite, so maybe he just couldn't make it today.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. All right, great. And these are all going to be recorded and posted somewhere. So if anyone can't make it one day or they're running a little bit late, it'll all be accessible. Cool. So okay, great. We've gone through the intros. Now what?
I think one of the things that Chris wanted us to talk about was goals and setting goals and things like that, so that we could keep each other accountable.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's something that people have thought about, or if that's something you guys want to talk about next.
Yeah, well, I don't know how long everyone's been in the group, but I know that it seems like at the end of each year, because this is my first year, almost to the day in the pro group, and it starts with outlining your goals for the coming year. Like that's an exercise that we all go through, and then hopefully you have a peak performance partner to like hold you accountable or to talk about things throughout the course of the year. And as we're coming up on the end of the year, we're going to be reassessing goals for 2019. So yeah, I definitely think this is a place that maybe we can talk about what our goals are for 2019. I know in the last pro group call, we're kind of jumping into subgroups about like what your financial goals are, whether you're in that 100K, 250, 1 million, whatever group. So I guess maybe we could do that. We did talk about that a little bit in our intro, some of us, like what our goals were for going forward. And David, you shared a little bit about what your goals are as far as like transitioning. And there's Gary. So we can punt on that, and let's see if we can get Gary in here.
Hey, what's up, you guys?
Hey, what's going on, Gary?
Hey, Gary.
Not much. Sorry, we got some snow here, so I had to battle my drive into the office.
Well, Gary, this is going to be recorded, so you can check everything that happened. We just went through intros, like a little bit about ourselves.
Sure.
So if you want to go ahead and hop into yours, now that we got you.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I look forward to listening back. I mean, this is a fun group, so it should be exciting. About myself, just really quick, we own a digital marketing company, been doing like web design stuff since like the mid to late 90s, just light stuff on the side. I worked at a marketing company for about 14 years before I made the jump to kind of do my own thing, and did that in 2014. And we've just been growing since. So it's we offer like SEO, digital marketing, content marketing, email marketing, web design, all that stuff. So yeah, that's a snapshot.
Awesome.
Cool.
And what we were just great. So now we intros all in the bag, and what we were transitioning to next was a little bit about like what the group is going to be. And David wanted to kick us off with maybe just going through and like what are our goals? Like what are we hoping that maybe the group helps us achieve, or what do you think? Do we have like a vision for the group? Eventually, what I would like to do like after this is get to like what our name is, if you know. But meanwhile. Anyone like have a vision for the group, like maybe their goals or how they think the group can help them achieve their goals?
I think for me, I sort of envisioned the group as a support group, and initially as sort of a continuation from the boot camp, because I think most of us, with the exception of Gustav, were part of the boot camp either before or the last one, and so I think taking some of those things and having a place where we could practice some of those techniques and approaches so that they get more solidified. And also, secondly, for me, just to have I've been, my partner for the bootcamp was Peter, and it's been great not just going over the material, but talking about our lives and talking about business and I don't know, just sort of helping each other that way. And maybe not always directly too, we might just share something and it would be helpful for us indirectly. So I think for me, I thought this would be maybe a way to do it in a larger context with a few other people from different backgrounds. It seems like a lot of people here have kind of a UX or product development background. But there's a few of us, Gustav who's in motion, and Anthony does illustration. So I don't know. I'm excited because just the personalities in this group. I've interacted with all of you guys to some degree a little bit, and just I'm looking forward to the friendships developing over time, and also us talking about our businesses and families too. So that's kind of how, that's for me. That's what I hope the group will be, and maybe a lot of other things too. So.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. Kind of same here. I think, when I originally signed up for the pro group, I've been watching, Chris's videos for a couple months, and actually met him in person because I went to Digital Design Days in Milan earlier this year, and this was like right when I was trying to make the decision to quit the church job, and so after I met Chris and talked to him, I decided to join the pro group, and because really I didn't know exactly what I wanted my future sort of career to be, after 20 years in the agency space, kind of found myself not really being fulfilled by the work. So, but just then not having a clear idea of how I wanted that to look. The pro group itself has been a good sort of touch base and kind of get the lay of the land about what other people are doing. And so as far as my personal goals for 2019, as I mentioned, I definitely want to be doing something in the context of just working remotely. I don't want to go back to an agency. And the struggle that I'm having is trying to figure out, do I just want to be just a freelancer, or do I want to go down the route of actually building a larger business? And I keep in my mind keep going back and forth in between the two. My gut is usually saying I just want to be like just this freelance artist working remotely. But then a lot of the stuff that I'm getting from the pro group sort of kind of speaks to something larger. So my first step anyway is to definitely sort of just strike out on my own and see what happens. So as far as financial goals, I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where my wife has a great job right now. So we've got a little bit of runway, so I can have a little bit of chance to room to fail. So I definitely want to take that opportunity and try to do that. Hopefully not fail, but definitely want to take that opportunity to strike out on my own and see what happens.
I'm sure you'll succeed, Gustav. It's a runway to succeed, not a runway to fail.
Yeah, thanks.
I can jump in there next. So I want to echo a couple of things. David mentioned, with this group, creating friendships and like that brotherhood here, since we're all guys. I've had a super crazy month. October, I traveled for Adobe Max, Adobe Live, and then just a retreat with some friends. So I've been out of the mix. I miss actually talking to both of the Davids, since they were both my partners during the project. So I'm super excited to see you guys again on the regular. Dave was an awesome friend for me. I hit him up when we found out about surprise number 3, and he was a great support to really help wrap our heads around that whole situation, and mainly supporting my wife because she was having a hard time with that. So, that's what this group is about too. And it was great to meet Anthony at Adobe Max and get to chat with him and some other people at the Future Meetup and just the conference. So super excited about that. And it sounds like some of us have similar backgrounds. Gustav just mentioned leaving a job at a church. That was my very first design job. And I know David Coe also had a background in that. So for me, some of the things that I'm really looking for are, I kind of consider you guys my peak performance partners. I feel like having more outside of this. I'm just in nonstop future meetings all week, and I wouldn't do any other work. So I'm hoping to get that fill from you guys. And this year is going to be a lot. I do a lot beyond just work and this transition. I also help run and manage the Creative South Design Conference every year out in April. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. I also run a design meetup at the Disneyland parks once a month for designers. Next year I'm hoping to do more in like speaking gigs and primarily workshops because I prefer doing that. I got a talk at Dribble Hang Times in 2 weeks, and hopefully that goes well. I have to follow like Paula Scher and Susan Kerr, and I'm like crapping my pants about that. And then I'm also starting a podcast series or like video cast series this year called The Design Hour. I couldn't believe nobody had those handles. So we've got it. We're wrapping up branding and getting some stuff going for that. And that'll be part of the new company's marketing things. So business wise, some of my goals, I did 250K on the side last year. And that's part of why my business got acquired by this other company. And so they are on track to finish the year at 1.2 million. I'm hoping next year to take them at minimum to like 1.6. Ideally, I'd like to take them over 2. So we'll see how that goes. Again, I've been on the team now for 4 days. Today is day number 5, I guess. I closed my first deal yesterday for 45K for one of Ashton Kutcher's venture startups. So I'm super excited about that. It felt good to get a quick win. And I still have 100 inquiries that are in our pipeline to go through. So it's a really cool opportunity here. I'm super excited about this, and I'm not sad about stepping out of the design role at all. So I think it's going to be a really fun challenge this year and really exciting, and trying to help them more on the business side as well. Because I think some of our biggest obstacles are going to be like, when do we grow? When do we hire and get those extra people in? Because it's really easy to say we've got a big pipeline, we've got a lot of work, hire, but that stuff can always dry up. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but I'm really excited about this year and happy to be here with you guys and just focus a little bit more on like regaining focus, especially with family. I've always been good with that work-life balance, but especially with another kid on the way, part of the appeal of this transition was to go back to working at home and being a bigger part of my kids' life or lives. And so that has already made me tremendously happier. And I won't go into details because it's just stupid drama, but I've had a lot of issues at my workplace with a coworker, and it has not been a fun last 2 months. And so this has basically, this even part-time transition has allowed me to no longer care. And I'm just like excited for the future, and whatever happens there. And it's just, brush it off. So excited for 2019.
Cool. Yeah, basically everyone's basically saying everything that I could want to say. But to summarize, happy to be with you guys. Happy to just have this chance to just talk and about things that are going on, challenges that we face. So this is kind of like the Peak Performance Partner 2.0. I think there's a lot with like the diversity of experience and what our goals are, and we have a lot of different perspectives. So I think that's great. And just to like build these relationships, like Peter said, it was great to actually see some of you guys in person and to continue that, because it is a small community. And as we go to design events, it's nice to be able to like follow these people that I know online. Gosh, what else? So yeah, as far as like the goals for 2019, as I shared, I am a moonlighter, and after a lot of soul searching, because I wasn't sure if I wanted to like go full in and like start my own biz and break off and do that, or do I wanted to be keep doing what I was doing, because in my situation I am the breadwinner in my family. So fortunately my 9 to 5 pays me really well. So my my side business is a lot like a laboratory. I have an opportunity to play with a lot of things, try like make mistakes, which is something that I didn't have the luxury of doing back when I was full-time freelance. So this is great. But in this coming year, it is really nailing down a lot of those like processes, like the really real business of stuff, like the lead gen stuff, self-promo, marketing, just how to handle projects internally, how to scale up and down as need arises. So that's something that I need to really get into place, because like I shared, this last year was really just finding my niche. And now that I've got that, there's going to be a lot of content creation around that. So like Peter, I'm also going to be starting a podcast this next year, just producing a lot of content and doing that inbound marketing type thing. But meanwhile, it's just really valuable for me to continue the conversation after our pro group calls and like what's going on in our industry, and to get your guys' perspective on, you know, everything. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, and I think the group will be great for.
Cool. I can definitely relate to, I think that the difference between Anthony and I is that for me, it's not a moonlighting thing. It's like my full-time gig, but I'm definitely like, I think in the same stages where I was kind of experimenting before. I think I briefly mentioned I studied full stack web development and realized like I didn't really just want to do development work all day, but I wanted to be more a part of the design and the strategy part of it. And that's kind of where I fell into UI and UX design. But yeah, for me, it's going to be really similar. It's kind of early stages. And I think 2019 is going to be where I work on and focus on lead generation and kind of getting our brand established and start producing content. I'm not really sure what medium, whether it's going to be a podcast or a YouTube channel or just a blog. I enjoy writing, but the other mediums are also pretty interesting and seem fun. So I haven't figured that part out yet, but yeah, it'll be interesting to, there's only things to gain from a group like this. There's absolutely nothing to lose. And that's really exciting. So yeah, I'm excited.
That's awesome. Well, I guess I'll go next. And yeah, I guess similar to everybody, I'm really excited to be here. Really excited to know all of you guys. To contrast everybody, I didn't really have a lot of leverage, or not leverage, but like baggage behind me. So it's, for me, this 2019 is going to be like laboratory experimentation, I guess, because I can, I guess, afford it. So trying to find my niche, my soul, I guess. That's my goal. Because right now I don't really enjoy working for advertisement agencies at all, because first of all, there's always a budget cap, and it's not really a fun work because you don't really have any kind of control over any kind of process, any kind of creative development. You just kind of stick with what they give you. I really wanted to get into lead generation. Right now I don't really know how to attract clients. I know that I think I have a hand of like just networking is the only thing that works, because that's the only thing that worked for me. And as far as like I can see, even Ben Burns says that networking is the only thing that actually works versus like Google Ads and stuff. So kind of, I guess, going to try to talk with as many people as possible, get in the habit of like having lunches every single day with random people. That's my kind of goal, is to find the niche. I think I want to go into maybe clothing apparel industry because it's e-commerce. There's a lot of money in that and doesn't seem to be that oversaturated. So kind of thinking about that. And product development, I really want to start developing random apps to, first of all, finally be able to say, hey, I made that before somebody else made that. And just to have experience in building products and maybe at some point build products for clients. So that's my kind of 2019.
Awesome.
Yeah. Boy. I don't know what really the goal is for the group yet. So it's kind of like it's up in the air. It's one of those things where what the future is doing is just like feeding me and all of us in such an abundance that it's really like this is a group where it can be an outlet for that. It's how can we strategically figure out and just invest each other, you know, what we've learned, the ups, the downs, the struggles into what we're doing. And I mean, we have them. That's the hard part that we can't. The future is, you know, just one-way communication. And so we can just take that in and then try to apply it. Some stuff works, some stuff doesn't. But then there's all these like intertwined issues that we encounter in running an agency or doing freelance stuff that nobody can talk about. And so this will just be an outlet for that. I mean, we've, you know, however long you've been in this, I mean, you know, Chris is, you know, in the boot camp, he talked about lawsuit stuff that he's gone through and ups and downs. And there's that real stuff that happens to all of us and that we can like talk about. And what kind of value can I really, I'm asking myself, what value can I bring to a team of really bright guys? You know, what can I be thinking of? What strategically can I leverage that? Sorry, did I pause? Oh, no. Anyway, what can I strategically leverage in our client base that can maybe help where you guys are at? You know, are there any behind the scenes connections that I can think of intuitively that might fit what you guys need and vice versa, those kind of things. Yeah, just a lot of strategy implementation and figuring out how to add value, putting a hand back at like where some of us were and some of us are further ahead and listening to you guys talk about where you're at and just really an outlet for all the information that we're gathering from trying to do this thing. So I don't know if that's an answer, but that's, yeah, I don't know.
No, that sounds exactly right. And Peter put that in the group chat that this is like a sounding board space. And I think that's ultimately what it will be. And I think I'm just really excited for all of our conversations. They're going to be happening. David, did you want to chime in?
Sorry. Yeah, no, I think everyone's kind of on the same page. I think the personalities are I think the mix of personalities are going to be good. And like Gary was saying, I think all of us come, maybe not all of us, but there's a diversity of, you know, where people are at in their careers and businesses. So I think it's going to be great. I don't know. Even if it wasn't about the business thing, I think it'd be fun just to hang out with all of you guys. So that's why I think all of us are here. You know, what else? What sort of time frame do we have for this meeting?
This is a 1 hour meeting, so we've got about 10 more minutes.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Is there? I think the monthly meetings we can just talk about where we're at, and in the weekly meetings, maybe more specific. We can sort of get more micro in terms of looking at specific things that we might be struggling with or things that we're working through. And then, you know, there's a lot of experience here, so I think we can all sort of glean some expertise and guidance in that time.
Maybe
and guys, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, maybe something we can do too, just so that way when we meet, we're a little bit more pointed on the target, is let's use the Facebook group to chat throughout the week and say, you know, maybe like Wednesday or Thursday, we say something like, all right, you know, what do we want to talk about? What have people been struggling with, or what's something you did really well this week that you want to share with the group? And, you know, for 5 minutes, tell us about it and teach us how it could help us. So it might be like, I'm struggling selling strategy, and here's the responses I'm getting, or I'm struggling to pre-qualify leads to save me time on extra meetings, you know, things like that. So let's see what people are having difficulty with or bad client communication, and maybe that can take up 15 minutes of our call and help us in a direction.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I like that, because what I imagine happening, like one or two of us or however many of us will have something that we want to discuss that week, and the discussion will organically, because if you have the opportunity to talk through something we have like 6-7 voices that have different things to say about it, I think we can eat through that hour pretty quickly. So, but yeah, just as far as, but it's like Peter mentioned, going in with a little bit of like a deliberate intent, so that we're not just like, hey guys, what's going on today? I don't know. What do you want to talk about? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it could almost run like the pro group, the open pro groups, and maybe a few that are more specific, like topical based or situational, where someone might have an urgent situation that could come up, or they're working through something. Sorry, now the family's here. Then we can all sort of attack that and figure things out. You're on camera.
Oh, sorry.
That's the sound of success, just so you know. That's the sound of success. Your family is in the background.
Oh yeah, that's right. Gary has like 1 million kids.
I do have 1 million, like 1.2. But it's an awesome sound. I love to hear, for so long you're just stuck in it. We're all stuck in I mean, now I have an office because I can't work from home, but I still do work from home. But it's just a great thing to hear, just the privilege that we have, the capability and ability to do what you just did. I pick up my kids from school today at 2:30, and that's worth $1 million. It's priceless. It's not even, so it's the little things. Look at this little one.
How many kids do you have, Gary?
Yeah, so 8.
8.
We have 8
That's
kids.
so crazy.
Our oldest is 20. I have 5 girls, 3 boys. Our youngest is 2. It's definitely our last one. I'm going to be 40 next month, and I feel it.
Wow.
I can't stay up at night, all that stuff. But,
I
there's
feel
no
bad for
glory
you.
in having a bunch of kids. There's only glory in taking the kids you have and loving them to like crazy. 1, 2, I don't care. You can have 8 kids and ruin their life. So there's no glory.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm one of 7 kids, so I knew what it was like with a big family there. So
Awesome. It's fun.
Hats off to you, Gary.
It's fun.
All right, so we've got a few minutes left. Did we want to talk about the name at all?
Yeah. Anyone feel strongly about any of the any names that have been tossed out so far?
I thought Brotherhood is pretty fitting.
Brotherhood. Gustav liked the Magnificent Seven.
That's a good one.
I mean, how could you not?
Yeah. I don't know if there were any other ones.
If we get
Were
one
there
more
any
member,
others?
we can go with Hateful Eight.
I'll be honest, I don't have any strong feelings one way or the other, but I do like the Magnificent Seven. There's just something about it. And I like Westerns, so.
Do we want to just post it as a vote and everybody vote today? And
Yeah, I think that sounds like a pretty good idea. Just doing like a poll in the group.
so did we name 3 today? So Magnificent Seven. What was the other one that David, you said?
Brotherhood.
Okay. Was there another one? Or is it just those 2?
Yeah, if it's just those 2, unless someone wants to speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, we'll make it just those 2 then.
All right. I'll post it now so we can all just vote on it by the end of the day.
Awesome.
Cool.
Sounds
Right.
good.
It was nice meeting everybody.
Yeah, it's great meeting
Yeah.
you guys.
Definitely.
Yeah, everyone have a great weekend and awesome Thanksgiving if we don't see each other before. All
Oh
right.
yeah, that's right. American Thanksgiving.
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
We had ours like a month ago.
We're catching
All right.
up.
Well, yeah. Well, try to stay active in the Face group. Keep an eye open for things there. Let's interact on there during the week, and I look forward to hopefully seeing most of you guys next week.
Mhm.
Sounds great. Take care, everyone.
All right. See you guys.
See you
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Take care, everybody.
Can you say bye? Bye.
Bye. Oh.